how absolutely paralyzing it can be, just thinking of all the uncertainties in the world. And even a couple months ago, 5-6 months ago, our organization did a strategic planning session, and we were asked to talk about, over the next 5 years, what would be the greatest challenges for the organization. And of all the senior leaders and board members, not one person identified that a pandemic, a global pandemic, would be something that we would be challenged with as an organization. So I think that these times are pretty unprecedented, at least for us. I know that other centuries and other civilizations, people have dealt with these pandemics and challenges of their own. And as I was thinking about, all the different ways and the things that there are to be that concern us, that keep us awake at night, and I started writing them down, and then the list became very, very long. And I thought, well, that's probably not helpful to just be focusing on all these things that can consume our energy with fear right now, threats to health, economics, politics, and all these different things that we're faced with right now. So for me, there's a great podcast out there. It's called On Being with Krista Tippett, and she's been doing this podcast for a couple decades now, and she likes to bring in different people to talk about different subjects, kind of along the lines of what we're doing here. And she's been bringing in poets lately, and one of the poems that they were discussing is this one that I was going to share with you today, and I think it's just like utterly delightful. And let's see, is it on the next screen? There it is. So this poem, it came to mind because when I was thinking about, the quote by Nelson Mandela about being brave, and the other quote that was in the selection of Joan of Arc, and what these people have in common. And to me, it's kind of a sense of purpose, like getting through difficult times and facing our fears and moving forward. It takes a really strong sense of purpose. And so anyways, I'll try to read this poem without fumbling over the words too much, but it's called What You Missed That Day You Were Absent from 4th Grade. Mrs. Nelson explained how to stand still and listen to the wind, how to find meaning in pumping gas, how peeling potatoes can be a form of prayer. She took questions on how not to look lost in the dark. After lunch, she distributed worksheets that covers ways to remember your grandfather's voice. When the class discussed falling asleep, then the class discussed falling asleep without feeling you had forgotten to do something important, and how to believe the house you wake in is your home. This prompted Mrs. Nelson to draw a chalkboard diagram detailing how to chant the Psalms during cigarette breaks, and how not to squirm for sound when your only thoughts are all you hear. Also, that you have enough. The English lesson was that I am is a complete sentence. And just before the afternoon bell, she made the math equation look easy, the one that proves that hundreds of questions and feeling cold and all those nights spent looking for whatever it was you lost, and one person add up to something. And I don't know, that poem has just really resonated with me, and that notion that I am is a complete sentence. And that kind of goes back also to that sense of purpose that the Blue Zone and other organizations have identified as very important elements to longevity and mental health. And it just made me think of all those people in our lives who are like Mrs. Nelson, who have believed in us through difficult times and given us that personal identity, that strength, that we are enough. And so let me see, what else?
That's beautiful, Natasha. I just want to add, you know, when we think of those two words, I am. And I know Tess and I have had conversations about this as well. You know, the power that exists within. We don't have to look 5 feet beyond our self where we stand. You know, we have everything within. We are complete. We are complete. We have all that we need. This poem is powerful, and it's helping me to remember that we have all that we need and we are enough. And, you know, I think we, as a community or an organization or an individual, perhaps, you know, I even question, you know, am I prepared enough for this, you know, fill in the blank.
Right.
Our entire life we've been prepared. And so when
Yeah.
when it's brought into our life, we just have to, as Tina would say, and I'll speak on Tina's behalf. Oh, we got Jan joining us. Hi, Jan. Tina would say, show up. We just need to show up. Does anybody else want to comment?
Yeah, I'll share. So, you know, like, just like what you shared, Leanne and Natasha, it's like really going back to my book, you know, like, I am creative, and it all starts from a dot that everything is inside of us. Like, that was when, you know, like I lost everything and I had nothing. And I realized that my wealth is just within my reach. It's like, everything is in there. So it's like, you know, that big fern that starts with a dot. We think it's just a single dot, but we start tapping into what's inside of us. It's actually limitless. And once we tap into that, you know, limitless potential, there is really nothing to be afraid at all in life, because we are equipped already. All we need to do is just go back to what's inside of us. But, you know, however, you know, our programming, programming and conditioning, we have to look for what's outside of us, because that's where give you all the satisfaction and all the, you know, the happiness. But it's actually the opposite. It is in going back to what's inside of us that everything that we desire are all be answered. So
Thank you so much, Tess, for that contribution. Joanne, yes, go ahead, please.
It's very meaningful poem to me, especially the last sentence, the one that proves that hundreds of questions and feeling cold and all those nights spent looking for whatever it was you lost, and one person add up to something. That reminded me of when I went to a doctor. My legs weren't feeling very well, and it was an acupressurist, and he said it's funny how when we do things, they seem random, but when you put them together, they make one event, big event. And for me, what he was talking about particularly is I didn't drink enough water. So, you know, because I was too busy, I was doing something else, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no, drink water and you wouldn't come here. And so this whole poem just really related to, I really related it to my experience. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing that. Claudia, how about you? Or Jan?
This reminds me of, and I've talked about it before, a pilgrimage I did 2 years ago. It's a long journey, but I was able to complete it. And I said before, we don't know how strong we are. We are faced with a challenge or a long journey. And but I really feel that the human body, we are capable of doing this or completing whatever is in front of you, whatever goal you have. We're capable of it.
Claudia, just for the sake of our group here, could you please put a number to what that long journey was? Because I've heard this story, but I think it goes beautifully, and it's a great example of what the human potential can drive us to accomplish.
So, so I will start with I'm a big female. I'm over 200 pounds. My long journey was 300 miles in 3.5 days. I like to use me as an example physically because we always think about our weight being a barrier to complete a walk or even to walk down the street. But when you can meditate and prayer and you talk yourself, it's a lot of talking to yourself. I talked to myself this journey. It was hard physically, mentally as well. There was times that I wanted to stop walking, but spiritually, because of the meditation and the prayer and the song and the Bible verses and the chants, both in my mom's native language and in my language, that is what got me through this. So 300 miles in 3.5 days. Yes. Mhm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Jan, welcome.
And I was just clapping for her. That's an amazing story. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
love.
Jen. Thank
Yeah, so one of the interesting things about this poem is, you know, we always look for a person like Mrs. Nelson or somebody who you know, and sometimes we're blessed with these people in our lives who have this gift of helping bring out the best in us and, you know, help teach us these wonderful lessons of, you know, how, you know, I am is enough. And, but sometimes, like the author of this poem, we teach ourselves. So, you know, the author was obviously absent from school that day and taught himself these lessons. And it helped, or I've been reflecting on, you know, how important that could be for us to be that sort of Mrs. Nelson for, you know, our kids or other people in our family, and to help help them see those qualities in themselves that help make them brave and strong.
So powerful. Thank you so much, Natasha, for sharing this beautiful poem with all of us. And I really appreciate the conversation we're having around this. Tina just alerted me on the text that she's logging on. So we'll welcome Tina when she joins us. But let's move ahead. It's 12:20, 12:23. So we're in good, we have great amount of time to move through the rest of the session here. So we are gonna look at, of course, the author, Mira Lee Patel, Start Where You Are, a journal for self-exploration. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can on this Feel Good Friday. And so we're excited. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time or maybe missed this on previous Feel Good Friday sessions since we started, because we're now on our 4th or 5th week, this book we purchased on Amazon. And so for anybody who's interested, please look on Amazon or stop by our department where you can just browse through the book, and we'd love to have you here. So we'll move forward to the next slide, please.
Yes, so the next slide, I'll go ahead and read this quote. This is from the book, and it says here, "The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." This is a quote from Nelson Mandela. And we'll start off with asking questions to Natasha, and then we will invite 3 to 5 people. I think that's all of us here. We can all take turns answering today. Yes. And so the first question, Natasha, is what are some fears you have conquered?
What are some fears I have conquered? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm 52, so there's been a few. I think, doing a presentation like this is pushes me out of my comfort zone, but I don't know, there's a lot of like, physical challenges like had talked about. I've not yet to do a great walk like that, but growing up commercial fishing in rural Alaska, there were quite a few opportunities where we were in life and death situations where, being strong was the only option to survive. So yeah, growing up in Alaska, there was a lot of physical challenges to just staying alive that I've noticed living in Hawaii are not quite the case. Bear attacks, avoiding moose on the way to the bus stop or out on hikes and stuff like that.
How about those bears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been seeing on Facebook that this is they have bear summers. So there's some summers where there's just tons and tons of bears. So it looks like this is a high bear season in Alaska. So I'm happy to be missing it, actually.
You've traded bears for mongoose.
Yes.
Welcome, Tina.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Feel good Friday.
Woohoo! Thank you so much for joining us, Tina. We're off to a beautiful start with Natasha as our guest speaker. And we just started on this quote by Mr. Nelson Mandela. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And so Natasha just shared with us an answer of how she's, overcome some challenging situation. And you've joined us at a beautiful time, Tina. So Natasha, if you want to add a little bit more to that, or you feel good, we'll open it up to the group. Did you want to share any other information?
No. Look forward to hearing what other people have to share.
Wonderful. Claudia, Tina, Jan, or Joanne, Tess. Oh, did we lose Tess? Oh, she's still there. There we are. Oh, and Tess has we've got one more participant. Who is that, Tess?
Doggy.
Her name is Momo. So this is one of the fears, that I conquered. I used to be so scared of dogs. So I got, no, seriously, I was to be super scared of dogs because I was attacked by like 12 dogs. This is way back in the Philippines. I was surrounded, was walking, just, do my morning walking. All of a sudden, in our subdivision, this dogs surrounded me, like 12, and I got so scared. But I said, I have to, conquer this fear. Mm-hmm. So I got, actually it was gingerbread, the first one, and then Momo is the second one. This is so cute. So now I'm not scared of dogs anymore.
Perfect.
Momo's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing Momo with us. Hi, Momo. And thank you for sharing the fear that you have overcome, Tess. It's beautiful to see you turn that fear into a beautiful family member now who brings you comfort and joy and passion. She's your feel-good Friday.
Yeah, and then, she's like my therapy.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
She, keeps me be loving all the time.
Beautiful.
I would like to share, if I could.
Yes, Tina, go ahead.
So one fear that I had years ago when I started working at Children's Hospital in Oakland, California, I worked in the fundraising department, and I had a fear of public speaking. And in the job function that I had at the time, there was opportunity for me to branch out and to grow into other areas of the foundation, but it would require me to do some public speaking. And so I was petrified, but I walked through the fear because I recognized that fear was a barrier for my progress. I had a destiny to fulfill through my job. My passion was connected with what I was doing. And so the way that I conquer my fears, I just did it. So, and it was interesting because in the job, it didn't require, like the current position that I had at the time did not require public speaking, but I'm looking forward, I'm looking forward and looking for opportunities. So I just started small, and I started offering, like we would have groups come in to our hospital for tours of the facility in groups that, like Costco, Walmart, Rite Aid, Remax, all these different corporations would do yearly, like annual fundraisers for us. And so we would have groups of employees, like the cashiers, come in and see, the kids and the families and what have you. But I took an opportunity to speak, like during the sessions where we would have like an orientation. I told my supervisor, do you need any help with any of the speaking parts? I said, I'm sure I can help. So she began with like the housekeeping stuff, like the bathrooms are over there and this and that and whatever, just general stuff. And then I eventually advanced to more like giving tours. I started giving tours after a while. So it's just so interesting how your fear, like Tess said, her fear turned into her pleasure after a while. Once she conquered it, it became a sense of like, it's rewarding to her for her to spend time with her dog instead of it being a fear. So yes, thank you. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Tina. And I think, what you shared, it reminds all of us to just start small. Take a few first steps. What seems insurmountable or something, that mountain in front of us, it begins with one step, right? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Let's hear from one more person. I think we have time for one more sharing.
I'm Joanne, if I could share. I've been discovering, I'm in kind of a lot of programs, so I've been discovering and uncovering a lot of fears. The big one though, and it has nothing to do with, well, I don't know what it has anything to do with, but when I was in Hawaii, living in Hawaii, my biggest fear were lizards and the geckos. And we lived in kind of a country house, so there are lots of them all over the place, and I couldn't stand it. One time, one of them, I put my hand somewhere, and one of them just went up my hand, and so well, the way I conquered it is I moved to LA. But that's not it. But I just kind of avoided those things. Every time I saw one, I ran away. However, what I discovered about me is that I have a fear of letting go, and nothing else will come in its place. And so the other day, what happened was that before I always listen to people's judgments and stuff like that. And so it was with the ukulele. I used to play it before, and then I didn't. And then I thought, oh God, I'm so inadequate because I haven't practiced for so long, blah, blah. But listening to Tess last week, I learned 3 chords. I'm learning a particular song. And it's been really, it gave me a lot of confidence, The other thing is that I love to cook, but I always used to buy already prepared food, but I started out with 2 cooking classes at a cooking supply store, and it was so good. I kept taking it, all different ones that they had, and we learned vegetarian courses, including meat, whatever, omnivore and carnivore kind of recipes. And it was really fun. And then this pandemic thing came, and they don't have any classes anymore. But I do it anyway at home because I had a stroke too, and the neurologist had said, "What's the alternative to eating cardboard?" And so I started cooking little healthier things, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm not afraid of sharp knives anymore. I'm not afraid of the oven, and it's been great. So that's it. Thanks.
Wonderful sharing, Joanne. And did I hear you correctly? Are you joining us from LA, Los Angeles?
Yes.
Wonderful. How did I miss that? I missed last week's session, so there I go. I missed the boat on that.
Well,
We welcome you, Joanne.
Yeah, it was actually Tina, because in another group that she has facilitated, and she sent me these invitations. Hey, I myself feel good on Fridays.
And this group isn't afraid to eat, Joanne, so you share with us any recipes you want to. We will welcome that for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. For the sake of time, we'll go ahead and advance to the next slide. Yes. And on this particular slide, you know, each of our sessions, we like to have a page in here that has some sort of activity that you can do beyond our time together. So in this particular one, we're going to start with our special guest, Natasha. Share some ways you have implemented this strategy during your life's journey. So you'll see on the page, on the left column, there's the desire. So what is your desired outcome? And on the right side, action toward that desire. So action could be steps or thoughts or a plan. Do these actions reflect courage or fear? So have you done something like this, Natasha? And if you have, can you share with the group?
When I was thinking about this, one thing that came to mind is something I'm working on right now. So I've got 2 kids who just went off to college. And so my desire is that they are safe. And so my actions toward that, you know, as a mom, you know, I know that having conversations, you know, sending them texts of data about how dangerous their campus is and you know, how the disease is spreading across their campus, you know, that's not really helpful. So my actions, I've been trying to really more focus on concrete conversations about, you know, what are you and your roommates doing to stay safe? So that my fear doesn't fill the conversation. So then, because if it does, then they'll turn around and try to calm me down. And then we kind of are off base with what my desire is, which is to keep them safe. So keeping my fear out of it and trying to help have meaningful conversations that can advance my desire for their safety. So that's something I'm working on right now.
Thank you so much, Natasha. I know many of us on this session today are mothers. So, you know, I know I'm going to reach out to you because we're going through some challenges with my 2 younger keiki. And so important to step into the situation with courage and really not project our fear, excuse me, into their minds, that they're also being courageous, as courageous as they can be. You know, I have a 10 and 12-year-old. So I want to offer anybody else to share as well. Mm-hmm.
I could share. Oh, go ahead, Claudia. You can share.
I'll share. I think it was, well, one way that I've never done the desire and action worksheet, but this kind of reminds me of the journey board or vision board that we worked on at the beginning of the year. And one of my desires was to apply for the master's program at UH Manoa. And on my vision board was just applying. Like that was my first thing to do, was just apply and do all the paperwork and all the writing towards it. But it was just that one step that was very difficult for me to take a few years back. But writing it on the journey board, like, you know, fill out the application. That's all I want. That's like my first step. So that was my action, was also on my journey board. My desire is a master's in social work, and my action was to just, you know, just apply. And school starts next Monday.
Thank you, Claudia. And I just want to add, you know, since Claudia shared that dream of hers with many of us here on the call today, the what feels like the entire organization, we just have embraced that goal of Claudia's, and we're like, yes, when you have this project, you can apply it to your school, so it's all going to work out, right? Natasha, we were just sharing with Claudia, so we're so proud of you. One last share out, and then we'll turn it over to Tina to lead us on the next slide.
I'll share really quickly. So, one of my desires, because I got horribly sick and I almost died. So I want, to live a healthy, to have a healthy lifestyle. So that's the reason why, Barefoot Zone was born, because I put, I was able to thinking what strategy should I use. So I created this idea, I want to be 100%, let's say plant-based. And I created this idea, like, how would I do it in such a way that, it would be easy. And because I went through a lot of, long journey also of shifting into 100% plant-based. But I realized that, the food that I love, like I'm Filipino, I love adobo, I love pinakbet and all those other really delicious food. So I created an idea, I developed an idea, and I call it tweak it formula. So let's say adobo, it's chicken and pork adobo. I just changed it with mushroom adobo, and remove the chicken and replace it with mushroom. And instead of soy sauce, I replace it with coconut amino, and still the bay leaves, lemongrass, the ginger, turmeric, and black pepper are still there. So it's like I made it healthier and way better than the original. So that's that's um that's a strategy that I use, that I implemented, that really is effective. And also, when we serve that to our customers, like the plant-based burrito, people couldn't even believe that it's actually all plant-based, because it tastes like it has meat inside.
Thank you, Tess. Between you and Joanne, I'm getting hungry.
I know, it's lunchtime. Very true.
The next event we do, Tess, as an organization for our community, we're gonna have to connect with you so that we can share samples of the Tweak It version.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll keep that in mind, Natasha.
Yes.
Tina, over to you.
All right. Okay. So this quote here, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. So Natasha, we want to ask you, what can you share with us in terms of your journey? When have you been able to say this? I am not afraid. I was born to do this.
Oh, well, I think it's a good mantra to wake up every day and say. No, I think that, thinking of Joan of Arc and her journey through the French Revolution, and a young girl with just passion and conviction to, she saw the injustices that were happening to the people, especially the people of no income and no resources in France, and how the government was, or the monarchy, was oppressing them and led them all to battle. Boy, to think of if we could be that brave and that strong to, stand up for the injustices that are happening around us in our world. And, I think a lot of us are driven, again, by our purpose and conviction to work to make the world a better place. And there's a lot of the reason why we get into the human service work that we do, because we have a passion for, helping the vulnerable populations, and the people who are at high risk, and the people, helping them find their voice, and just also thinking of Nelson Mandela and what he went through, and spending 23 years in jail fighting because he was standing up against the white nationalist government and apartheid in South Africa. It was just, so it's all very inspiring. And I think that it kind of leads the work that I do. and helps bring meaning every day to the, and joy to coming here and writing grants and finding the funding so that you guys can go out and do those fabulous programs that you do.
Natasha, you know what just hit me? And I have chicken skin right now, and that's a great thing. You are the Joan of Arc of West Hawaii Community Health Center. Without you, without your talent, I'm going to preach. Without your talent,
Amen.
we would not have a job. We would not have 5 locations. We would not be able to say we serve 17,000 patients. You are the Joan of Arc of West Hawaii Community Health Center. Tina.
Yes, absolutely. Hallelujah. I was going to say we should thank our lucky stars that we have you here. We do not take you for granted. So thank you for being a part of this, what we're doing here. I also want to open this up for others to share, you know, what is it within you? What is it that you're not afraid to do because you know you were born to do this? There may be some fear present, right? But you know, you were born to do this, so nothing will stop you from doing what you came here to do. So who want to share what that means to you?
I share.
Okay.
Because this is like, no, seriously, this is like my incantation. I am not afraid. I was born to do this. So, no, seriously, like I way back when I was 30, you know, it's like, when I lost, I shared this a couple of weeks ago with you, you know, with everybody, that I lost my job. I had nothing. I was broke. But it was then that I realized that I have everything, that my wealth was just within my reach. And, you know, I reclaim my being an artist, that, you know, I'm gifted with this one talent, and I won't be, it's like, here, I'm not afraid. I was born to do this. And because of that, I was able to define my life's purpose and create visions. You know, like, it's like, who would ever imagine that I came from a very tiny community in the Philippines, and here am I. I'm in Hawaii, in the most beautiful place in the world, one of the most beautiful places in the world. And, you know, like, just like, this has given me tremendous opportunity, actually, like, to explore my creativity and my talent, and, you know, to contribute something to the world, you know, to humanity. And so I'm really, really grateful. And it's like, yeah, being here, actually. I'm so happy and grateful that, you know, I'm, you know, like, just being a part of this, like, group, and share whatever I can contribute.
Thank you, Tess. We sure do appreciate you being a part of this effort. We really do. Would anyone else like to share?
I was going to add that Momo's happy too. Was that Momo in the background?
Yeah.
Momo is celebrating with you. Very aligned.
There it is. Absolutely. I would, if no one, I would like to share a little bit on this.
Please,
subject.
Tina, go ahead.
Yes, because for me, I know that my life's purpose is to help other women to heal, to encourage, to be, you know, an anchor for other women as they're going through their trials and their journeys on this planet. And I earned my stripes. I am a wounded healer, because I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, and I've overcome so much, and I've come out of it better and stronger and more compassionate. And I said, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. And so for me, a thought came to me, and I shared with our outreach group during our staff meeting, but it was like the words came to surrender. So a part of it is, you know, surrendering to that purpose, really listening in into your heart, into your soul, because we do get clues, you know, we do get those breadcrumbs along the way that kind of give us a clue. Oh, this is what I'm passionate about. This is why I'm here to serve on the planet. So surrendering to that voice, and also to be open to serve others in that way. And as we do this, we keep showing up for opportunities when opportunities present themselves. So I just wanted to share that. I know I was born to do this, and I'm so grateful to Dr. Lee, to West Hawaii Community Health Center for allowing me to do what I love while I'm at work. That's feel good, baby. That's the epitome of feel good.
That's a feel good Friday kind of comment,
Yes.
Tina. And we wouldn't be able to do this without Natasha finding the grants, because everything we do is reliant upon grant funding.
Yes, yes.
Natasha, did you want to add any other comments or any last comments about this before we move forward to the last slide?
Viva la revolution.
Que viva!
Beautiful, beautiful. Hi, Tess, we have a new friend here. Let's introduce her to the group as we enter our final slide.
So this is Carol. My friend is from California. Yes, I'm introducing her. So she's visiting for 1 month actually. So we're classmates with Tony Robbins in the Graciosis course. So we're working together so that we can, you know, like impact the world also. This is what we're doing right now. So we're collaborating, and she came. Guess how old she is?
35.
35. This is Carol.
Hi, everybody. I don't know where I'm at, who I'm with, but you have beautiful smiling faces. And I trust Tess so much. So, hi.
You're on Feel
Aloha,
Good Friday.
Carol. Aloha.
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 Any friend of Tess I know is changing a part of the world. So, Carol,
Oh,
you
I don't
are
know which one you are, but that's the truth. That is so, so true. It's why I'm here, because I want to have it rub. Well, I plan on doing it too.
Yes.
People 35 and older. I'm 80.
She's 80 years old.
Stop fooling us, Carol.
She's her life has just
Oh,
begun.
I bet you're outreach. Are you outreach?
We are at the West Hawaii Community Health Center. So we serviced about 17,000 patients on the west side of the island, and we are the Department of Innovation and Transformation. So we are off to innovate and transform our community, a small part of the world. So you're right where you should be. So we're so excited.
Oh, darling, you are so right. I am where I should be, and right here. That's a wonderful mission. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Claudia, you're going to take us home with this final slide.
Yes. So this question here, Natasha, what is your greatest motivation in life?
Wow. You know, I think that it depends, but I think that, you know, connecting human connections and connecting people, and the again going back to that sense of purpose of fighting injustices, social injustices, environmental issues like injustices. So those really give me those are things that very at the core of what motivates me a lot of the times. But then there's also the art and the art side that is a huge part of whenever the world seems like it's falling apart or whatever, to be able to switch gears and go into the art mode is kind of what I do.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Natasha. Could you grab the little artistic piece creation that you've created as a result
one of the
COVID?
things I've been getting into. Oh, sure.
Yes,
So one
that's
thing I've been-
beautiful.
So I've done all sorts of art mediums throughout my life, but so now I've been getting into using epoxy and resin and casting things. Well, I'd been working with encaustic, which is embedding things in a type of wax medium. So now I'm going into this. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little seascape scene. So yeah, so this epoxy resin, I just made my daughter a chessboard, which is 24 inches by 24 inches. And I used found objects, a lot of stuff that I found from the Goodwill, and kind of layered it down and then put this epoxy on it so it looks like a collage of just trinkets and keys and buttons and jewelry, and then kind of layered it up and then put the white tiles of the chessboard on it. So, because yeah, my daughter has this thing where she's gotten into DIY taxidermy. She's been doing a little bit of taxidermy, and so she wants to make a chessboard, all the chess pieces out of mice that she taxidermies. And so, of course, as her mother, I had to build her this very decorative, elaborate chessboard for her her project. So.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you so much. Let's open it up to the group. Claudia, go ahead and open it up to the group as I think we have, just timekeeper, we have 4 minutes left for the conversation, and then a 1 minute on the final slide.
Yes, so please, if there's anybody that would like to share what is your greatest motivation in life. And also, this is a really good question to take some time to write it down, say it out loud, make it a part of each breath. Now move forward. So journaling, right? We're journaling. Anyone, is there anyone that would like to share? What is your greatest motivation in life?
I'd like to share. I'm Joanne. And then
Yes, Joanne.
also want to make a comment to Natasha, is that I work with glass a lot, a glass fusion, and it's kind of similar to resin, but it doesn't have the smell, epoxy smell. Anyway, my greatest motivation is I'm finding is to be the best me I can be. Mm-hmm. And like I had said before, I don't know if I said it here, but one of the things I learned is to say what I mean, but don't say it in a mean way. And that's really been, you know, that plus being the best me are the motivations of my life right now. So, thanks.
Mine is just the same.
Have you shared yours? Share yours.
No, okay. So my greatest motivation actually, like right now here, is just to impact, to serve one and impact one. So, you know, that serving one and impacting one, like it can become, you know, serving 1 million and impacting 1 million. So it's your turn.
Okay. My motivation in life is I recognize, I see, I know that each one of you and everyone that we meet has our magnificent, I have a magnificence and a core essence that is unique and beautiful and vibrant, and you've been given, everyone has been given so many gifts, and it's our culture that limits and our conditioning that limits us. And my motivation is just to love and spread the truth about the preciousness of everyone we meet, everyone I see, because, and this is the likeness I make, I think of this, there's no two trees in the whole world alike. Imagine that. Well, it's the same with your beauty. You have so much beauty and gifts to share. And that's what motivates me, is loving people to share and get in touch with their amazing essence. Thank you.
Yes. Wow.
Beautiful, Carol, my goodness. Yes. Tess, we're gonna have to keep Carol connected to our Feel Good Friday.
Yes, please.
As we say here in Hawaii, mahalo.
Oh, thank you, mahalo. What's that mean?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my first Hawaiian word besides aloha. Thank you. Mahala.
Tina.
Yes, yes. So next slide, our conclusion. You know, we just want to thank everybody for attending today, for supporting, and just being here, for showing up. You know, just your very presence. I just want to say that if anyone needs a journal, a notebook, because I tell you, I took so many notes just on that last slide from everyone's comments is so just amazing. Joanne, your comment about being the best me I can be, as that being like your motivation. And, you know, to say what you mean, but not in a mean way. That's powerful. That's noteworthy, you know. And our new friend, to spread love and truth and the preciousness of our essence. I truly believe, and I'm with you, I believe that is the purpose of this time that we're living in. You know, as things are growing more chaotic and dark, there's some of us that feel a light that's shining forth. And so this is just one of the ways that we can share our light, what God has placed in us. We can share that with each other and with the world. So thank you so much, everybody that's on this Zoom meeting. And please feel free, invite your friends, you know, send this thing out. When I send you the invite, share it with your network, with your friends, because this is encouraging, and we need more human connectedness, like Natasha said earlier, you know, really building a human connection even more so now than ever. So thank you, everybody. Next week, please join us. Same day, same time. We're going to be looking at a self-discovery journal of prompts and exercises to inspire reflection and growth. So we're going to have another special guest. So, and if you desire to be a special guest with us, please let us know. Both myself and Claudia's emails are shown at the bottom of the screen here. Make note of that. If there are any ideas that you might have of topics that you would like us to, you know, consider, please email that out to us. We're happy to hear from you. So we just want to say, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we just appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
and thank
you.
you to our Joan of Arc of West Hawaii Community Health Center, Natasha Ala. Thank you so much, Natasha,
Thank
for
you,
sharing your
guys.
love.
Mahala.
Thank you. Mahalo.
Aloha.
Aloha. Take care, Joanne. Have fun, Tess and Carol.
Oh, thank you.